Jack. We good. We good.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the place to be. I'm your host, Adam Milton. Right enough for me is.
Sick cause the governor.
And in the
And
middle,
number
we
one,
got.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, my bad. In the middle, we got.
Jammer one.
On the one. Okay. Um, we went. Press the part right there.
Mm.
We just came from what part of Virginia was that?
Short pump.
Well, y'all ever heard of Short Pump Mall?
Probably.
Nope.
Let me tell you something real quick, fellas. I've been to Morocco, and they had some beautiful malls. And I said to myself, the malls that I'm used to seeing back home in Baltimore, Maryland, look like a how can I say this nicely? It looks like a flea shop, a flea market
Okay.
compared to the malls that was in Morocco, right? Because you know they try to be like the West, but in their midst of being like the West, they try to outdo the West. So they go overboard with how they think the West is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to Short Pump Mall in Virginia, bro, they have there's no cap. They have a hotel inside the mall.
Okay. Wow.
Who?
I said it again, they have a hotel, y'all can Google it, inside the mall.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. You remember the Gallery Mall downtown had a hotel at the top of it.
Yeah, but this thing, like, I think is in the middle, like the center, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you leave out the mall, you leave out
Uh,
and you're in the mall.
Mm.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of ill. That's
It's
interesting.
ill, right? So
Yeah.
we didn't get a chance to enjoy it much. My wife, she wanted to get a hotel and stay the night, stay a few days. But
Yeah.
we was out there to see a movie, and we went to go see that
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, which was
Decent movie.
highly disappointing. Um,
This movie.
it was a 6 out of 10. I
I
didn't
hear
like it.
people saying, I either hear people saying, I heard a lot of people say it was good, and I hear people say it's disappointing. I don't know what to think. I
I
wanted to
didn't.
go see it today, but I don't know.
Yeah,
You can watch for the action. Storyline doesn't kind of make sense, but if you just go there and see a good Marvel movie, a decent one, yeah, it's good. It's good.
but they didn't have any propaganda in there. That's what I like. A certain
Oh,
type of propaganda that we're used to seeing in Marvel movies,
uh-huh.
and the type of propaganda we're used to seeing in majority of movies in the last 10 years. I didn't see any colorful things.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's like shocking because the writers or the people who are in charge of the Marvel movies are part of that community. So that was a shocker that I didn't. If it was there, I didn't catch it. You know what I'm saying? But all
Yeah.
in all, I didn't like and they made them the new. Spoiler alert.
Don't see it.
Okay, then I won't. I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like it. I gave it a 6 out of 10, and that's just being generous. Really wanted to give it a 5, 4.5, but ever since Thanos died, I couldn't stand Marvel movies, man. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. They haven't been the same since Thanos died.
exactly. Okay, so what we want to talk about first? Segue into trans soldiers, or now
Yeah.
here's the thing. I really didn't get a chance to really dive and do my due diligence or some type of research on these topics because I had a bogus week. I was supposed to go up top, you know what I'm saying, back home, but we unfortunately got scammed, for like $400. Fake rental car company
Mm,
scammed us,
mm.
So anytime I hear Indian people on the phone, I just run. That's
Yeah.
just me. I run. The minute they
Indians and Nigerians.
Yep. Yep. Anytime you hear somebody speaking D's, I'm out. I'm gone. I'm gone. All right, fellas. Who want to be the first to
Well, I
talk
can get
about
you up
this?
to speed. Basically, I mean, it ain't really much to it. It's just that Trump banned trans people from being in the military.
How y'all feel about that?
Now, I guess they starting to kick them out now. I believe
Wow.
it's
How
something.
do I feel about it? I don't know. I think it's kind of stupid personally.
Okay.
I think if they want to be in the military, let them be in the military. Let them fight. You know, like just because they trans, why not? They can pick up a gun and shoot just as good as anybody else, I assume, or whatever else they're doing in the military. I don't see why they can't go in there. You know, they trying to get gay people out of I think Trump want to get gay people out of there too.
All
But
right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's more than half the military.
You're right. And they were saying that trans people make up 7% of the military. So it's really not even a big deal. I just think, you know what I mean? Like a small percentage like that don't even really make a dent in the military. And at this point, it's like, why do it matter? You know what I'm saying? It's almost as if the president is trying to make a point by not letting them serve. Man, shoot, let them serve, yo. We need many people fighting for the country as we can get. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I think that they should train convicts to go to war.
I
Always thought they should do that.
disagree. I disagree on that one. I totally disagree.
I think they should.
You know why?
Why?
Real quick and simple. What did the movie Life teach us? Remember that scene when he tried to I don't know the names of the characters, but Martin and Eddie, and the white man gave Eddie an ultimatum. He said, if you shoot Martin, I'll let you go free. He said, boss, you know if you give me that gun, I'm gonna shoot you with it. And the next scene, they both on the bottles like this. And Martin said, man, I would have shot you and been straight hitting in New York right now as we speak. You get what I'm saying? So saying all that, if they give convicts a way out, the convict mind is gonna take over. First of all, he's gonna be looking for freedom. Second of all, once he starts seeing bullets fly, he's gonna say, the hell with this. I'm gonna find an escape route. The criminal mind they have probably thought this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And this is why they're not soldiers or what you call what's the heroes that no from the DC universe. They're not a suicide squad. Because that, unless they got a kill switch embedded in their, their brain, them guys will turn on them. They can be easily bribed. So much can just go wrong.
Okay.
In that scenario.
That makes sense. Okay.
So much can go wrong. And when you're talking about prisoners, not to go too far off topic, but when you're talking about the prisoners, man, you're dealing with some of the most manipulative brains on earth.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You're dealing with the most manipulative brains on the face of God's green earth. That's not going to work out. I'm sure they thought about that 100 times. That's a disaster waiting to happen.
You're right.
Hey, man,
that's probably why they don't do that in any country, really.
Exactly.
So I could agree. All right.
But Gov.
What
you think, man?
The only thing that I probably would see, the only legitimate thing, and I would say maybe, like when you think about the hormones and all the type of medical treatment that they need to take to maintain the new gender that they switch to, that may be an aspect. Say if you're in a wartime situation and you out in war and you can't have access to that, like if you out and about and you probably cut off from the whole, what they call it, supply lines and everything like that, then that could probably put you in I don't know what that would do. Like say if you're switching over from the female side, you see what I mean? And then now you can see like some certain bodily parts are starting to come back in a way.
Mhm.
That could be an issue. I don't know because I don't know if say you get to be, but I don't know. That's just on a wild. That's on a wild goose, just random. What you call it? Just speculation. But like, say if somebody get kidnapped, a prisoner of war type deal, that could be an issue. But that could be the same thing with women in combat too. So I think the big thing is if they are able to physically able to do the job, like say if you got to pick somebody up and carry like whoever you fighting with, you got to pick them up. If you got to take them back, they can't do that. They don't need to be there. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for whoever. You know what I'm saying?
So you're trying. So what I'm getting from this is some of the physicalities would not be befitting to a trans person. Let's say for a person that was born female and decided to be male,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the physicalities that a male soldier endure,
Right.
she wouldn't be able. That person wouldn't be able to.
They probably will be able to, because think about it, because if you got women in the military that's able to do that, right?
Mhm.
So then they should also be able to do that too. If they're not physically able to, then you definitely don't want them in that position. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I look at it similar that the male and female cop.
Right.
Like, okay, you know, I'm a person. I'm old school, tradi- traditional, but at the same time, I try not to be, um, what's the word can I use? Fellas, help me here. I try not to be one-sided in progress when
Yeah.
it comes down to like innovation or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
But just look at the female and male cop. Look at the respect order. Look at the natural innate respect order when it comes down to a female cop telling the man what to do, and I ain't gotta listen to you. Who are you?
Right.
Then her hormones kick in, and she gets highly emotional, and things don't go right. You know what I'm saying? Then he may overpower her and be over. A whole lot of things can go wrong in that.
True.
Because like it or not, whether you believe in God or science, scientifically, male and female are built differently.
Right.
You know.
Right. Especially,
Well, yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
especially
Go.
on an average level. And of course, there's always exceptions. Everyone's not built like China. You know what I mean? All the women are going to be built like China. They
Mhm.
wrestler, old school wrestler, but you right.
Yeah, I wonder who you talk.
I was about to say the women in China built like men.
But they do have a lot of trans over there, though, man.
Yeah. You
Thailand. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thailand.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we heard about Thailand.
Yeah. All right, Bezel, what you think, man?
If they're going this route,
oh,
I feel like in that case, if they're going this route, if we were ever to get drafted, all we have to say that we're trans and we won't get drafted. I mean, it'll make sense because I'm like, I feel like it makes no sense. No, like Juan said, it makes no sense to take them out. If they can fight, they can fight. If they can fight the same war, if they can pick up a gun, they can shoot like anyone else can. They can shoot like anyone else can. You know what I mean? So, um, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. There's not really much to say to it. I mean, why would you lessen your chances of victory by taking somebody out because of what they believe to be their gender? You know what I mean?
Because
So,
it's the American way, the good old American way. But yeah, I agree with you though. Like it don't make no sense.
Mike, hold on.
What happened?
This is Mike.
His mic went out. Oh,
Can y'all hear me now?
Yep,
I think
it's back out. You probably hitting the button.
can y'all hear me?
Yep.
yeah, we can hear you. I can hear
I
you.
think I think Trump is trying to go back to traditional ways of this country, the old Christian values that this country holds.
Good old family values.
And think he's trying to bring that mindset back in his own way. And I guess because this country is supposed to be based on a Christian leadership, and for that to be within their army, it's almost like a mockery.
Sacrilege, if you will.
Yeah. So
this is bad in God's eyes.
Well,
exactly.
I think it's that, and also the fact that when you think about war and fighting in general, it's typically a masculine thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, war is a masculine thing. I mean, it was like you said, it was women in war, but they're more like nurses and aides and stuff like that.
And on the
People to
have some
cooks and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I have a feeling it could be that too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not all one thing. Like, I'm pretty sure there's aspects of it. I would not be surprised that all the reasons that we named are part of it too. You know what I mean? That we named.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Be surprised if there's a physicality part, like being a man's thing. And I think that's a big part of what's playing in it too. You know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be a man's world, man supposed to go out there and fight. And we bring the girls. You know what I mean? That's what we were supposed to do. So, and I have a feeling that's a big part of it too. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think this got to dive into the psychology of war. In order for us to fully understand this, we got to dive into the history and psychology of war in the placement of man and woman when it comes to war, and why these things are taking place, and if they're outside the traditional norms of it, how quickly your country could be overran.
You want to know what's crazy though? We always had warrior women that would fight in the wars alongside the men.
Right.
That's why the trans thing don't really make sense. It's almost like a discrimination.
In a way. Remember that old show? I never really watched it much, but we watched it a little bit. MASH. And it was that.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to watch it a little bit.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that in a way. You know what I mean? He thought he was the girl. You know what I mean?
Hold on, I don't remember the characters.
One of them. I don't know any of their names, but it was one that was I think he had his hair in a bob or something like that. It was something that he always.
I'm white guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I ain't watched enough to know.
Black folks never watched that show. Whenever that theme song came on, niggas was turning the channel.
Or going to sleep.
Right. And don't let it not be anything else on. You was just like, oh
yeah, I know. I got stuck watching that before.
Yo, that's the most boring theme song in the history of music. It's making you not want to watch the show.
What's what called Killer Army made took that sample.
Okay.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, that joint was dope.
Probably worked.
I learned to like Cheers. I didn't like Cheers at first, but I learned to like Cheers.
I like Cheers.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cheers got one of the best theme songs of all TV shows.
All time.
Yeah.
All time.
Yeah.
That's one of the
I didn't like Friends.
I didn't watch Friends either. That's do I need to say
it? That's how I said.
I remember they did like a countdown of the 50 greatest TV shows, right? And they didn't even put Martin on the countdown. I said, and Friends was number one. Martin wasn't on the countdown. I was so mad, yo.
I'm surprised you didn't say Seinfeld.
Oh, I think it was either Friends or Seinfeld that was number one, but they was like the top two on that countdown that I saw.
And I don't think Seinfeld was funny. I mean, it was funny in its own right.
Yeah, Seinfeld was a good show. I like that show.
Yeah.
Friends though, no, I couldn't get into that.
All right, fellas, let's switch to another topic. Which one y'all want to do first? Smokey or
Smokey, man. We gotta get into Smokey, man.
All right, let me see if I got a clip. Let's see. 1 second. Let's see if I got it. Okay, we do not own the rights to this video.
Of fostering a hostile work environment. I'm Elizabeth Milner with Law and Crime. Now, when we first reported on this story on Tuesday, Smokey Robinson hadn't yet responded to the allegations against him. But now the 85-year-old's lawyer is slamming the claims, calling them vile and false.
Our four clients have a common thread. They're Hispanic women who are employed as housekeepers by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage. As low-wage workers in vulnerable positions, they lack the resources and options necessary to protect themselves from sexual assaults throughout their tenure as employees for the Robinsons.
All right. Shame on you, Smokey, paying them minimum wage, and you're a rich man like that. Shame on you.
Below minimum wage.
Oh my goodness, shame on you, Smokey. They was better off suing them on that count.
Taking advantage. He was taking.
Oh my goodness, he's running a sweatshop over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, they did that to the Framers character.
Because when did they come out? When did these happen?
Last week, this week.
I'm saying, when did they say the incidents happened with the house?
They were saying like within the last 3 years.
He's 85 now.
Yeah, so that's what makes it so crazy. They were saying this is recent. Like when I was listening to the story, I was thinking it was stuff that was happening 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Nah, this is like recent.
Mm.
And it's kind of hard to believe that Smokey in his 80s is still, smacking booties.
That's
Being a freak.
like they say, like your mind at a certain age, after a while, there's like certain inhibitions start to go away as your brain starts to.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that he does that, but he's been rich for a long time.
Oh, man, he's been famous for a very long
And a
time.
lot of rich people, I hear that they're kind of spoiled, and whatever they want, they get in a nutshell.
Yep.
They can pay people off, they can pay to silence people, a whole bunch of stuff. So I would never put it past Smokey Robinson that he harassed those women. Yeah.
Look at Lou
I can buy
Hefner.
and sell you type stuff.
Look, what's his name? Lou Hefner? The guy who had the Playboy Mansion?
Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner. He's about 200 years old, being a freak, man, going around touching on young women and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't put it past. I don't put it past Smokey, but they said that his wife was in on it. She encouraged it.
See.
Encouraged him to harass the women or encouraged the women to sue him?
No, encouraged him to harass the women. Like she was in on it. You can look it up.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's wild. That's crazy. I wonder what they got.
I won't be surprised if they're like an older version of what's his name, Will and Jada.
Ooh, you never know.
Maybe some freaky stuff going on in Hollywood, bro.
You never know, right? And see,
yeah, Smokey's first wife, she said you can do whatever you need to do while you out there on the road. Just don't embarrass me and bring back no other babies. And guess what Smokey did? He brought home an outside baby, and that's what they got divorced over. So that was his first.
She was probably down with him going out and doing what he did. You know what I'm saying?
Take a special kind of woman. Take a special kind of woman to have a famous man as a husband. They have to have an understanding.
Exactly. She knew the protocol.
Yeah. Either they got to understand or they know how they got something worked out between the two of them where she's always there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or she got something on the side. Like I said, Will and Jada.
Right.
Prayers go out to Smokey and his family, man. If I'm not denouncing, anybody that's a victim of sexual, SA, here, I guess I'll say we're against that. But at the same time, I hope that it's not true. I hope it's, some type of money grab or whatever. And what's going on with our people's been in the limelight for this, and you don't see Caucasians and God damn it, the Chinese man never get caught up in nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like Jackie Chan, I ain't never hear no allegations up against, Jackie Chan and nobody like that. Like it's always black people,
Man, I think they just built different.
Yeah.
You know how brothers be, man. We see something nice. We start talking that talk. It's just something that's in us, man. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's in every man. It's just that like
Like black
in
men
black
though,
people
like
is probably
that black man swag,
yeah, it's probably heightened with us.
takes you to the next level, and we gotta have discipline when we in those when we in those rooms or when we upper echelon. We gotta have discipline. Like Jay-Z
It's
got
very
discipline.
difficult.
They tried it with Jay-Z, but Jay-Z was like, "Nah, buddy."
I don't know, man. I disagree. That whole 444 album based on him apologizing. You know what I'm saying? Based on him saying, I messed around on you, Beyonce, and I apologize. Here's a
I
song.
mean,
Think about
yeah,
this.
but
Remember,
he wasn't caught up in any real scandals like messing with little girls, sex trafficking, bringing prostitutes, or I don't know what they do with bringing prostitutes in from other countries and all that stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know, but he never got caught up with any of those types of things. The thing with the little girl a few months ago from what was that 2003
One.
yeah, yes,
2001. Yeah, 13 years old. They proved that was false. So yeah, Jay-Z kind of protected himself over the years.
uh-huh.
And ain't nobody's perfect. Everybody did stuff in their past.
True.
And then you got like the time frame. It's a lot of stuff that we used to do back in the 90s when we were in the clubs as younger men. Even like in the neighborhood with the girls in the neighborhood, we could never do that stuff now. We could never do it now.
Socially
Especially in the
is
house
not
party
accepted.
age, especially in the house party age.
Yeah. All that freaking that was going on the dance
Yeah.
floor.
like real quick, back in the day, remember the older guys from college or just grown men used to come, pick up the girls in high school.
Yep.
Yep.
And it was all good. Now you try it now, it's whole different ball game. But now you got sugar mommies dating young men. And people don't see nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
They
don't see nothing wrong with it. But
what
see,
you think, Bizzle?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like when it comes to having that type of power and that type of position, being up there like that, once you get to that billionaire status, that higher millionaire status, the biggest thing for any man, especially younger, older, especially older too, is lust. You see a lot of athletes when you first get into the game. What's the first thing you hear about? They got someone pregnant. They're in a case where they're on child support. They're getting their money taken away. That's why any coach, any elder, anyone in your life would tell you when you're a fresh actor, when you're a fresh athlete, when you're a fresh artist and a rapper, especially when you're a rapper and artist, is to stay away from lustful situations where you're gonna end up messing up your bag. Before the industry, before anybody can get you, lust will always be the first thing that will mess up your bag. So I think lust is, some of us, married or non-married, some of us still deal with lust. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's
you deal
everyday
with it your
fighting
whole
struggle.
life.
Yep.
Your
Yeah.
whole life.
Your
Right,
whole
yeah.
life.
That's your battle to the end.
Yeah, that's
Smokey,
a
no.
battle.
Right.
Smokey, no.
85 catching these suits.
Yeah, and and then Smokey, man, listen, man, if you did it, man, listen here, you got to pick better women, man. You got to up your game up. You can't be messing with the help. Just can't be messing with the help.
Set up the arrangement first. I don't know.
Yeah, yes, at least, I mean, come on, you got money, man. You can't be messing with the help, man. You can't be doing that.
You just made me think of Coming to America when King Joffrey Joe Fair was talking to Prince Hakeem. He was like, Do you have sex with your bathers? You know I do. Messing with the help.
Smokey dealing with the cleaning lady, man. Come on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. Yeah. All right, man. Let me.
Shut up.